So guess what? Look at this, guys. Where are the major global financial offshore centers? Well, they're in the Caribbean, okay? They're in Panama. They are in Northern Europe. They are in the Middle East. They are in Southeast Asia. Hong Kong, Singapore, Japan. Guess what, guys? This used to be the former British Empire, okay? So the British Empire is still around today. But they transformed from one that is overt, and that uses military power in order to control the world, to one that is covert, that is secret, and that uses financial and legal means in order to control the world. Okay? And it's still the game that we play today. All right? Now, there's a question that someone asked me. Okay, it's a very good question. The question is this: if offshore financial centers like Hong Kong and Dubai are so profitable and it's such easy money, why doesn't everyone do it, right? It's a good question, okay? And the logic is very simple. We know that gambling, prostitution, human trafficking, slavery, all profitable. Why doesn't everyone do it? Because it's immoral, okay? As a society, you need morality in order to create energy, openness, and cohesion, right? People want to feel as though they're part of something good, that we're striving for a higher cause. And if you're all about slavery or prostitution or gambling or money laundering, people won't feel good about themselves. In fact, their souls will become corrupted, okay? So the classic example is like Hong Kong, right? Have you guys been to Hong Kong? One of the wealthiest cities in the world, right? Lots and lots of skyscrapers. But guess what? The people there are disgusting. They're depraved, they're unethical, they're disgusting. There's absolutely no culture to the place. There's no morality to the place. It's absolutely disgusting, okay? I don't want to live there. And if you live there, guess what? Your soul is going to become corrupted. So this is almost, you would say this is a demonic system. This system is not only evil, but it facilitates evil. It is the work of Satan, okay? But unfortunately, this is a system that we live in today. So even though everyone will say this system is demonic, it really underpins the world today. Because if you think about it, okay, all this corrupt money from China, India, Malaysia, they go to these places, but then this money then goes where? It goes over to Australia to invest in real estate. Do you guys know what the biggest industry in Australia is? It's banking, okay? Banking. Which means that Australia also engages in money laundering, but they clean it up so people aren't aware of this. Do you understand? The same thing happens in Canada as well. Canada, United States as well. So this entire world, it's based on stealing from the third world and transferring this money to the first world. That's all it is, okay? It's not complicated. But this has led to a huge problem. The problem is what we call over-financialization. Over-financialization, it's a very simple concept where there's too much money, so people become corrupt, lazy, arrogant, and insular. And that's what's happening in Canada, in the United States, in Britain, in Australia, okay? And so really, an empire must collapse at some point. So the British, the Western world, they are a victim of their own success. Okay, so they stole all this money from the rest of the world, but this money has made their people lazy, corrupt, and arrogant. And that's why we're seeing so much conflict right now in the Western world, because this money has created a lot of inequality in the world, in the Western world, right? Where maybe 1% of all the money, 9% have very little to get by on. But you also have a lot of corruption, where the political system no longer serves the interests of the people, they only serve the interests of the rich, okay? And then you also have immorality, where nowadays people only concerned about making money. They don't want to contribute to the community. So yes, we can say that the Western world, it's evil because they've stolen all this money, but really what's happened is that they've corrupted and destroyed themselves because this model has been too successful for them. And that's why we're seeing so much chaos in the world today. So we are really at a game reset, or a game's end, and a new game is about to emerge because this game right now is not sustainable. So this is a map of the British Empire, okay? So let's look at India and China. The local elites had to help the British do this, okay? The local elites had to help the British steal. The question then is, why would the local elites do that? Okay? And the reason why is, remember from last class, the local elites are in conflict with each other anyway. Okay? And what they're looking for is more power. And so what England said to local elites is, if you help us, we will help you steal the gold from this country. Okay? Do you understand? Before, if you were an elite and you lost a war or the people didn't like you, they could kill you. But now, if you help the British, you can transfer your wealth and your children abroad. Okay, does that make sense? So, now what's going to happen is that the elite are going to be able to send their children and their wealth to the British Empire, okay? Okay? And there are certain mechanisms that allow them to accomplish this. The first mechanism is, of course, finance. So, not only are you allowed to transfer your capital to the United Kingdom and its colonies, but they will disguise it for you. This is what we call money laundering, okay? Money laundering. So when you steal from your people, not only will Britain allow you to do this, but they will disguise it for you, okay? Through their offshore financial centers, including Hong Kong, Singapore, their lawyers will pretend that this money came from, not from drugs, not from gambling, not from prostitution, but from restaurants, from real estate. Who cares, okay? But they'll clean up for you, okay? We call this money laundering. And then they will help you send it overseas where it becomes legitimate, okay? So now you have real estate investments in Australia or Canada, okay? All right? So this is a global money laundering system that encourages the local elites to be corrupt, okay? It protects them in their corruption and it incentivizes them in their corruption, okay? Does that make sense? The second thing that allows this to happen is schooling. So what do I mean by that? The British, when they conquered India and China, what they were trying to do is try to brainwash, indoctrinate the elite. So they set up these schools, right? And when you went to these schools, what did you learn? You learned English. But when you learn English, what do you learn? You learn that British culture is superior to your local culture, right? When you're learning English, you're learning about Shakespeare, you're learning about British philosophy, you're learning British history, and as a result, you slowly come to believe that the British are superior to us, and therefore I should try my best to be British, okay? And also, what's really important is that the schooling system allows for mobility, okay? So if you are a really smart person in China, well, there's really little mobility for you in China. But if you go for the British system, you might win a scholarship to go study at Oxford or Cambridge, okay? You even might become a Rhodes Scholar. So a Rhodes Scholar, it's basically a secret society, okay guys? But the idea is that all over the British Empire, the very best students will be selected to go to Oxford where they become best friends. Okay? And their mission will be to spread the power of the British Empire all around the world. And it works really well. Okay? This is an indoctrination system for local elites. And it works really well because remember, if you're a really smart person, the British offer you more opportunities for mobility than your own country. Because in your own country, the system is very hierarchical. It's static. There's really no mobility, right? But if you're really smart and you obey the British and you believe that the British culture is the very best in the world, you might become a Rhodes Scholar. And then you become part of the British Empire. And that's how the British were able to conquer the world. And the third thing, of course, is the Navy. Basically, the Navy ensured that Britain was the greatest military power in the world. If they didn't like you, they would come and destroy you, okay? And that's what happened to China during the Opium Wars. There was nothing that could destroy the Navy. And so, these three things, okay? Finance, the Bank of England basically, schooling, or the idea of soft power, British culture, English, Okay? And the third thing is the Navy created really the world's first great world empire. So as you can see, Britain spread all around the world. Okay? And so even though the British Empire is no longer around, it's now the American Empire, even though the opium trade has stopped, what's important for us to understand is the game is still being played today. Okay? So let me give you an example of this. This is a drug trade in the world. Okay? And as you can see, the drug trade, okay, primarily cocaine. We're talking about cocaine. There are other types of drugs as well, but let's focus on cocaine. You can see it's a global network. Just like a lot of cocaine is produced in Colombia and South America, and then it just travels all around the world. It's a very sophisticated system of trade, okay? But what you need to understand is none of this would be possible without the British financial and legal system, okay? Because like, why are people taking such a risk and selling drugs? Because it's so lucrative, it's so profitable. But you can only have this market if it's being protected by a legal and financial system, okay? People only participate in this trade. It's dangerous, but they will only participate in this trade if they can be guaranteed that they can make a lot of money, and they can use this money and protect this money, okay? So what protects this money, of course, is the offshore financial centers, okay? So the green are areas in the world in which you can place your money. They won't ask where the money came from. They don't care where the money came from. And they will clean it up for you, okay? Money laundering. They will use their sophisticated legal and financial systems to clean up your money, and then they will help you invest it elsewhere, okay? Does it make sense?